He was hit 64 times. Once they were finished, they hopped back into their cars and escaped in different directions.
Dirty Dan. Dirty Dan. Dirty Dan. I'm Dirty Dan. I don't know what you mean. I'm Dirty Dan. It's absolutely amazing. I'm Dirty Dan. Whoa, Dirty Dan.
Yeah, let's do rappers instantly killed in prison.
Back in February 2019, people were protesting at Green Correctional Facility because Anthony Myrie, this up-and-coming rapper, was suddenly reported dead. Now that's just the beginning of the story. There's more disturbing stuff down the road. Here are some rappers who were instantly killed in prison. April 25th, 2023, Money Sign Suede found himself in a dire situation.
I'm not gonna hold you. I probably don't know a lot of these niggas on there. I ain't gonna hold you.
Serving time at California.
I don't really be, you know, tapped into a whole lot of motherfuckers anymore.
California State Prison. That day would mark a violent and traumatic turn of events. Money Sign Suede, real name Jaime Brugada Valdez, was an American rapper who was a magnet for trouble. At the age of 18, he was incarcerated for the first time for carjacking. By that time, he already had a hit track and was on his way to becoming a big name in the rap game. He got out on parole, but trouble wasn't far off, because he would return soon after for some more serious offenses. December 2022, Money Sign was sentenced to prison for being in possession of guns as a convict on parole. That's where things take a dark turn. He was to serve time at Soledad, California, a place where you play by gang rules or you get a hit placed on you. From the moment Suede got in this place, all eyes were on him. He was a hotshot with a couple of successful hit songs like Back to the Bag.
Again, to go state prison, yeah, I'll be back though. I'm going for like a year and a half. Like a year and some change.
State prison.
Before Suede went to jail, he and his friends hung out together, and they even recorded this moment. This would be the last video of Suede. The world would see of him being free and alive. Now generally, Suede was loved, but in prison it's impossible not to have someone that wants to kill you. And in Soledad, the gangs never left this Mexican kid who was one of the hottest brown-skinned rappers in the US alone. Now while in prison, a fight suddenly broke out one day in the middle of the prison yard, crowded with inmates during their afternoon recess. They were trash talking, but the details are unclear, and it quickly escalated into a physical fight. In the crowded yard, tempers flared, and a chaotic scene unfolded. Later, they found out that the Sureños, a gang coming out of Mexico, approached Suede. They wanted him in their gang, but he said no.
Yep, so the real gangsters, I mean, the real Mexican gangster, because he's a Mexican-American rapper, a Mexican-American gangster rapper. So the real Mexican hitters was like, hey man, say man. You know what I'm saying? You already claiming that shit. Hey man, say man. Go ahead and do this shit with the, you know what I'm saying, with the real gang. Hey man. Damn, okay. Now I get it. Now I get it.
He really wasn't interested. Plus, he was at a point in his life where he really wanted to get out of that game. You see, Suede felt that he needed to show he was gangsta to be taken seriously in this rap game.
Just like a lot of young niggas that come up and, you know, they got friends around them and they just want to rap, they want to be cool, even though, you know, they ain't never hit no stain or did no drills at, you know what I'm saying? You know, carjacking is almost like, when you're like a kid, like, it's like, you know, almost, it's bad, don't get me wrong, don't jack cars, y'all, even if you are a kid, but like, that's almost around the lines of like petty misdemeanor, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you just like get a car and you just break a window just to steal like some fucking, you know, well, if you take a radio, you'll crack it. But you know what I'm saying? If you just like, you know, steal whatever little change they may got in their fucking, you know, center console or whatever the fuck. But yeah, that's almost like, especially if you're a kid, that's almost around the lines of like, you know, petty little misdemeanors and shit. So, and you would do that as a kid just to get a name for yourself or just to say you did it. You know what I'm saying? Because you'd be like, all your friends, whoa, you broke into a car, bro. Whoa, you're so gangster. You go hard, man. You're a carjacker. Really, it's like, I'm really just a crackhead. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm really just doing it just to say I did it and it sounds cool. That's not gangster at all.
He was rapping like a tough guy, showcasing his guns, and now that he was in prison, he was being asked to live up to what he was always showing off, and officially identify with a gang. Unfortunately,
Yep. See, I already knew this was gonna happen. Trying to portray the lifestyle, doing the whole little bullshit, little knucklehead shit outside of, you know. I knew it.
For that rapper, things only got worse when they discovered that Suede had not only been refusing their offer, but was also discussing the gang's activities with people outside the facility. They found out that he'd written a letter to his girlfriend detailing how Mexican gangs were putting pressure on him, and his girlfriend had posted that on social media.
Can do for you, kid.
Get off. You gotta go poke some. Whoever got you in fear,
you gotta do your thing.
Yeah.
You gotta do your thing.
A Crip gang member known as Matt Crip later said that Suede's girlfriend was the one who put him in that
Matt Crip? I thought it was Crip Matt.
situation, and he should have kept his problems to himself. So on April 25th, 2023, Suede walks into this prison bathroom, unaware of the danger that was coming. As soon as he stepped in, everyone bounced, except for a few gang members who stayed behind, plotting to kill him. Without warning, they brutally attacked Suede, beating and punching mercilessly. One guy just took out a sharp metal object and stabbed him multiple times, leaving him for dead. Officials found him an hour later, unconscious, although they rushed him to the hospital clinic. It was too late. Later that afternoon, Suede was pronounced.
Once you get poked up in the hospital, I said in the hospital, once you get poked up in the can, bro, especially with niggas beating on you, 9 times out of 10, you not making it out of that. Especially if you already getting jumped. So your adrenaline is rushing, your blood is pumping, and you've already got stabbed a few times. You're bleeding out faster than you normally would. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't feel it. Because I know with me personally, whenever my adrenaline gets to rushing, I don't feel no pain. I dead ass feel like I'm fucking invincible. Until I actually calm down, then I'm like, fuck. You know what I'm saying? Then everything starts to hurt. Once I'm not like amped up no more. So I know probably once like everything started to settle, he dead ass passed out from the pain and bled out. So damn, it's fucked up, my G. RP. It's fucked up.
Dead.
RP though. Everything need to be on social media. That's what I'm saying. Cloud is the most dangerous
February
motherfucker.
2019, Anthony Myrie was involved in this fight while in prison.
I never heard of this nigga either. But like, yeah, Cloud is dead ass the most deadly drug, bro. Fuck everything else. Cloud is dead ass get your ass smirked. Like, faster than shit. Just about anything. Excuse me, just about anything.
Prison when he suddenly just went missing. The details they discovered were pretty terrifying and unexpected. Anthony Myrie, known by his name Trey, gained recognition in the NY rap scene for his raw and unfiltered lyrics, often depicting the harsh realities of street life. In the months leading up to his death while in prison, Trey released a lot of mixtapes and collaborated with a bunch of East Coast rappers. Anthony was in prison serving 7 years after being convicted of attempted criminal sale of a controlled substance, and the incidents leading up to his death are really sketchy, kinda raising questions about foul play.
His grandmother, who raised him, is still stunned.
I don't know how he died. He was healthy.
Pix 11 started investing.
According to his mom, the prison authorities didn't tell the family what happened to him, but there were a lot of clues to work with. February 11th, 2019, Sadie Myrie, Anthony Myrie's wife, explained that she'd received a call from Anthony while at the Green Correctional Facility, and he would express concern to her, which was kind of unusual for him. After the call ended, Sadie was informed by another inmate's family member that Anthony had been placed in solitary confinement, also known as the box. So she calls up the prison to ask about the situation, and she was told that they had him in the general population section. She didn't know how to feel about that, but 5 hours later she got a call that Anthony was in critical condition. Sadie attempted to contact Albany Medical Center to speak with somebody responsible for her husband, but found no record of him. She would try calling other local hospitals without success. However, not long after, she got a call from Green Correctional Facility saying Anthony had been pronounced dead at Albany Medical Center, the same hospital that just previously couldn't confirm any record of his body. So now the spokesperson for the Department of Corrections and Community Supervision reported that Myrie died after being involved in a 3-on-1 fight with other inmates. According to that statement, the guards tried to intervene into the fight without using force. Myrie was also said to have been examined immediately by medical staff and found to be unharmed. However, just a few moments later, Trey complained of chest pain and suddenly collapsed. He was then allegedly taken to the Albany Medical Center where he died. Following the unusual details of his death, Cardi B and Meek Mill expressed their reactions on social media. Cardi shared a message on Instagram from Myri's family with the caption, "Green Correctional Facility, you not f***ing getting away with this one." She's hinting that the prison guards may have been responsible for hurting him.
I'm about to say something don't sound right with this. The way this nigga like, that's why I was sitting there like, whenever I just sit there and just like make faces and I'm just thinking, or I don't say nothing, I'm like, something don't sound right. Something don't sound right. Yeah, they have had to scrap that shit. Yeah, that ass. I was just about to say that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This seemed like, nah, this was like planned. The fuck? This don't seem right.
And accuses all the officials of lying about where his body was being held to buy time. Meek Mill also shared that family's message and became a voice for prison reform after he was also held in solitary confinement for breaking his parole. Both artists highlighted the need for transparency and justice in the case of Myri's death.
Ambushed after being released from Cook County Jail in Chicago was shot about 64 times. 31-year-old rapper Londre Sylvester.
July 10th, 2021, Chicago rapper Londre Sylvester was released from Cook County Prison after posting bail. But instead of freedom, he was met with something so deadly, no one could believe it would ever happen at a prison facility. July 1st, 2021, KTS Dre, real name Londre Sylvester, was sent to prison for a felony case he had back in 2020. Now, the judge granted him a $5,000 bail, and he was sent to Cook County Maximum Security Prison in Chicago until he posted bail. Unfortunately, those incarcerated at this place were the worst of the worst in Chi-Town. Now, Londre wasn't an innocent victim. He was very much part of a deadly gang community that was pretty notorious around the state. In prison, KTS Dre would link up with his crew, but he had to be vigilant because this place was home to several rival gangs. You see, Londre was a member of the Lakeside faction of a violent gang known as the Gangster Disciples. His nickname, KTS Dre, held a secret meaning that explains a lot about the local rapper's life. It meant kill to survive. This is why he had a KTS tattoo on.
I thought it meant kill the snitch. I ain't gonna hold you.
His neck with a target symbol next to it. It was a sign that he was committed to that gang and would kill if he had to. That was his life pretty much, and prison only made him a target. Now he was always surrounded by his crew, so the chances of rivals taking him out was pretty difficult.
Blood and Bone go hard. I want to watch this shit.
On July 9th, 2021, his mom posted his $5,000 bond. That information was picked up by his enemies, and a message was sent out to a hit squad. Saturday, July 10th, Sylvester stepped out of his cell led by wardens to a private area, where a monitoring device was fixed to his ankle. He was in a pretty good mood because he was getting out, so he stopped and took some pics with his homies. Afterward, he proceeded with his 60-year-old mother and a female prison official to exit the facility. Now, unknown to everyone, things were about to get ugly because within seconds of stepping out that gate, two men from two vehicles suddenly stepped out with rifles and unleashed a hail of bullets in his direction. While his mom and the prison officer both sustained minor injuries, Londre wasn't so lucky, as he was hit 64 times. Once they were finished, they hopped back into their cars and escaped in different directions. Both sustained minor injuries. Londre wasn't so lucky, as he was hit 64 times. Once they were finished, they hopped back into their cars and escaped in different directions. He was taken to Mount Sinai Hospital, where he was pronounced dead.
So this is a suspect that British intelligence is considering in this death. He's a former hip-hop rapper from London who allegedly left to fight for ISIS.
In April 2020, Abdelmahed Abdelbari, a British rapper, was arrested in Spain in the southern region of Almeria. No one could have predicted what would happen while he was in custody. 2013, this guy was also known as Lyricist Jin, and he decided that rap wasn't exciting enough for him anymore. So he left England to join the terrorist cell Al-Qaeda. Now before switching—
Whoa. How the fuck you go from a British rapper to working for, joining Al-Qaeda? How? That's a weird transition to me.
Switching over to terror, Jin was a member of the hip-hop group Black Triangle. His style shifted a little bit from rapping about drugs to rapping about radical lyrics that spoke against immorality in society. The Islamic radicalism in his music became really obvious, and so were his associations. Now, he was pretty famous out there. Even the BBC was playing his songs on the radio. Before the terrorism. Now, Barry was born in England and was a British citizen. His parents were from Egypt and his dad was a member of Al-Qaeda. Now, Barry would become one of the deadliest members of this group and quickly rise in the ranks to head his own unit. In July 2013, he left Al-Qaeda and joined ISIS in their Raqqa stronghold in Syria. Here, he had his own team and was actively engaged in cybercrime to raise funds for his terrorist cell. That's not all, though. He was notorious for tweeting and showing off executions, which made him the most wanted man in Europe. Fortunately, that reign of terror was about to come to an end. Now, Spanish authorities got a hold of Barry as he was trying to sneak into the country from Morocco through the Strait of Gibraltar. Surprisingly, he pled not guilty to all the charges, and it seemed like he was going to escape justice. If convicted, he would get a maximum of 9 years. Now, the trials led to public outrage because it looked like Barry had it kind of easy despite all the crimes against humanity. While still awaiting that verdict, he was imprisoned at Centro Penitenciario Puerto Tres and was placed under strict rules that included 20 hours a day of solitary confinement. Now, on July 27, 2023, Abdelmahed Abdelbari was declared dead as his lifeless body was found in his prison cell. This is where it gets interesting. The authorities initially reported that they couldn't disclose the cause of death. No autopsy was done and no pictures were released.
Of course.
While everything about his death seemed shady, it was later revealed that Barry committed suicide. Now, before he died, he started this horrible rap genre called jihad rap. At one point,
what the Nigga, what the fuck is jihad rap? I'm not even gonna hold you. I have an idea of what it is, but I feel like if I try, if I try to imitate what I think jihad rap sounds like, y'all gonna call me racist.
And everybody thought that he was Jihadi John. And people believed that he was the one who beheaded American journalist James Foley. During the night on September 2nd, 2021, Rwandan rapper Jay Polly was rushed to the hospital from a Kigali jail. What unfolded was this deadly underground activity being led by the government that left the entire country in shock. On April 2020, at the height of COVID-19, Joshua Tuyashime, better yet known as Jay Polly, was arrested at his home for hosting a party despite COVID restrictions. Next, he was slammed with drug charges and possession of a fake negative COVID certificate. Now claims are coming out saying that these were all excuses for the government to arrest people perceived as enemies of the regime. Jay was a top rapper in Rwanda, speaking out against the regime of General Paul Kagame, an act that Rwandans believe the general punished ruthlessly. Jay was held in Mageragere prison, which was unusual, as citizens have pointed out that suspected drug users were always taken to Iwawa Correctional Center. In addition to that, though, those who violated COVID restrictions at that time were also taken to stadiums, educated, fined, and then released. But in the case of Jay Polly, he spent 5 months in prison, and his court appearance was delayed for more than a month. On September 2nd, 2021, Jay Polly was suddenly rushed to Muhima Hospital in the capital of Kigali at around 1 in a bad and unresponsive state. Doctors tried to revive him, but he unfortunately died shortly after. They found out later that prison guards had made a juice of sugar and water and some methanol disinfectant, and then forced him to drink that deadly concoction while receiving blows from soldiers, as they ensured he drank that entire bottle. Methanol.
Yo, I'm about to say, yo, I know they do. Yeah, I know they wild in other countries, bro. But damn, they made this nigga drink poison and then beat the shit out of him? Damn.
Resembles alcohol, but it's deadly. So it was gonna be easy for the guards to conceal that assassination. The symptoms that followed were horrific. Minutes after ingesting that, Jay had lost his sight. That was just the beginning of the effect. Then he bent over in agonizing pain as it began destroying his liver and kidneys. At that point, it was too late to save him. So to complete that cover-up, the guards take him to a hospital where Jay Polly was confirmed dead. Now, according to reports, this wasn't the first time the critics of the government would die in prison. Jay Polly was the 4th rapper to die in prison within a span of 2 years. On February 2020, another rapper, Casito Mejigo, died in a similar circumstance at the same prison in Kigali. This was the same fate for Emmanuel Gasakura and Kalissa Mupende. These were all rappers criticizing the government of General Paul Kagame.
Those are rappers? These niggas look like politicians.
Paid a deadly price for it.
More about the young man who was killed in a shooting on the Palmetto Expressway yesterday.
And the northbound lane shut down for hours as police investigated the bullet-riddled car he was riding in after he had just been released from jail.
On March 16th, 2022, stepping out of the Turner Guilford Knight Correctional Center in Miami-Dade County, we have Timothy Sparks, aka Baby Cino. And what happened to this guy is one of the worst incidents in the prison's history. Baby Cino was new to the gangsta rap scene. His biggest track was Big Haiti Shot Us, talking about violence and shootings. In the song, he bragged about popping everybody, which was code for killing them. In his music video, he'd be seen making some coded gangsta handshakes. That was used by a local gang known as Boss Life to put a hit on the person receiving the handshake. Cino featured that act in his song because he had recently lost a member of his crew called Gary Milo Laguera. And Cino even dedicated that song to his fallen comrade. In 2022, lots of hits were put on several Miami street gangs, resulting in a lot of deaths that year. Now Cino's looking over his shoulders and probably got a gun to protect himself. However, instead of protecting himself, his gun possession put him in serious trouble. March 2022, members of the Robbery Intervention Detail Unit from Miami-Dade Police Force arrested Baby Cino for illegal possession of a Glock 32 with a full clip. The police said they picked him up because he was moving in a suspicious manner.
Ain't no freedom of speech. You can't voice your opinion if it goes against the majority. That's nuts, nigga.
And it was obvious that he had a concealed weapon and had concealed his vehicle's plate as well.
Then why the fuck? I ain't even gonna hold you. If that was the case, why do niggas even try to be rappers in other countries? Like, if I knew this is the country where if I speak freely, if I just walk outside and say, hey, I feel like 2 niggas fucking is gross. And then I can literally go to jail or get packed up for saying that. Why would you even want to try to pursue a career in rap or any type of music career where it's going to like police your words, my nigga? You can't even speak freely just being normal. Imagine you making a song. Hell no, my nigga. That's what I'm thinking. I'm sitting there. I just thought about that. I'm like, wait a minute. Why are these niggas, if you live in this place and you know you can't even go outside and say, you can't even give your opinion unless your opinion is the same opinion as the majority. Why the fuck would you think it'd be a lucrative idea to be a rapper or an artist of any type of anything if you're gonna be speaking about like hard topics? I just thought about that. I'm like, wait a minute. Why are these niggas even doing this? Because they want freedom. They want to free other people. I mean, I get it, but y'all gotta realize one Negro. I ain't gonna hold you. One Negro is not enough. You see what they doing to the rappers? Each one of them, they are getting fucking killed off one by one. So one nigga with a voice and a hot beat is not enough. Matter of fact, a nigga with a voice and a hot beat, we can have a whole group. We can have 100 niggas all rapping, all singing, all on hot beats. Nigga, they don't give a fuck. That is not gonna change a motherfucking thing. That is not gonna change shit. That's gonna be like, oh shit, all right. Well, a lot of these niggas is rapping about reform. A lot of these niggas is getting a lot of people, a lot of the public on their side. Looks like we gotta round up all of these 100 niggas and make an example out of them. That's literally, they don't sit there and be like, well, you know, maybe we should. You know, the majority, the public seems like, hell no. They don't give a fuck about public interest. They care about protecting their own assets and their own necks. They don't give a damn. But I was just thinking like, bro, why? Why would you do that? I just thought about that. It literally, I know it hit me kind of late in the video, but I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you become I mean, I understand why, but like, yeah, you're basically, they're down to be martyrs, basically. I mean, it's not cool, but like, I mean, if you don't stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. So I guess, you know, they willing to die for that shit, but still, come on, dog. Like, my whole thing, I understand about being a martyr, but at the same time, like, if you die for something and literally nothing changes, don't it kind of feel like you just like, I'm not gonna hold you. If I sit there and be like, hey, bro, I'm willing to give my life to make sure that every fat nigga, you know what I'm saying? I can't think of it, right? Like just, I would just say like, everybody doesn't have to pay rent. I'm willing to die for this shit. I will die so that everybody doesn't have to pay rent. We can all live rent free for the rest of our days. And then let's say I actually do, like I go far. I do campaigns. I'm on fucking all type of political bullshit. I'm over there getting people to sign on it or whatever. And let's just say I get assassinated, knock on wood. And then nothing happens till like 4 or 5 years later. I'm not even gonna hold you. This might sound petty, but while I'm in the shadow realm, I'm gonna be looking down like, man, this some bullshit. I ain't have to die for you bitch ass niggas. Ain't nothing even changed. I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm gonna sit there in the shadow realm waiting like, this some bullshit. I could still be on Earth, getting the Earth pussy, chilling, vibing out. Why the fuck did I have to do that? Ain't nothing even changed. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm gonna be one of them petty ass omniscient niggas. I'm gonna be like, some bullshit. Fuck I die for, man. It's some goddamn bullshit. I'm gonna be one of them. They gonna be like, bro, this nigga, we shouldn't have gave this nigga a platform. I mean, not a platform. We should have gave this nigga powers. Cause like, he doesn't see the point of like dying for something. Like, no, I see it. I see it. I just don't see the fruits of my labor, nigga. I see it. I get it. I ain't gonna lie. I'll probably be one of them, bro. I didn't go hold you. I'm gonna follow. Let me catch up. All right, read that one. African politics be some pyramid scheme shit. Dead ass. Sometimes it don't even be the majority. They be on each other. Facts. Cause they want freedom. They want free. All right, that one before. They need MLK over there. I'm about to say MLK ain't gonna save nothing. I'm about to say shit. Literally, MLK gonna die the same way I'ma die. Type shit. He ain't gonna shit. Free all the big backs. Want to know something funny? That'll go far. That'll go far here. In other countries, somebody will be your op just cause. Yeah, that ass. You know what I'm saying? I can sit here and joke about it or whatever here, but let me actually be in another country and actually like speak that shit and kind of mean it. Oh, I'm getting popped off break, especially even if somebody does agree with me, there's going to be someone who doesn't. And they're going to be like, bro, man, who is this nigga with a voice? Fuck off. I don't like your opinion. I don't like the way you think.
Now, a few days later, Timothy was booked into Miami-Dade's prison facility. It'd be a really short stay, though, as he posted bail in less than 24 hours and walked out free. Now, what he didn't know was that his rivals weren't gonna let him slip out of their fingers so fast. March 16th, 2022, a rival gang knew Sino was gonna walk free that afternoon, so they stake out around the prison. At 2:10 p.m., baby Sino and a man identified as Dante Collins Banks, who had come to pick him up, had stepped outside that facility and got into their car. Minutes later, as that red Nissan they were riding turned onto the expressway, Starks and Banks were suddenly ambushed by gunmen in another car in a wild daylight shooting in the middle of traffic.
2 people on the Palmetto in Hialeah firing at a red Nissan Altima around 3 p.m. Wednesday. The car crashed into a barrier wall. Dozens of casings were left on the roadway.
Before they could hide or do anything, the hit squad unleashed a barrage of bullets. Sino was hit at least 40 times in the head and died on the scene.
40 times in the head? Damn. I know his shit split open. 40 times in the head? Damn. I know they left your nigga looking like pulled pork.
Fortunately, Banks also succumbed to his injuries and died later at the hospital.
As the U.S. Attorney's Office claims Casanova led the untouchable guerrilla Stone Nation Bloods gang and directed a multi-state conspiracy.
Wait, Casanova's dead? I thought Cass was just locked up. That nigga dead? Yo, for real? He actually dead? Hold on, let me see something. Wow, that's crazy. I was just looking up some shit, bro. I think he got stabbed to death or some shit. That's crazy. After you fall, gotta stand over and make sure you're gone. Nigga, they made 40 times in the head is crazy, though. I'm about to say, I know that shit look crazy. I know it look crazy. But my nigga Cass is gone, bro.
In that role.
In 2023, for his involvement in gang activity, the New York federal court sentenced Brooklyn rapper Casanova to 15 years in prison. Now, Casanova had made a big mistake while in jail. That would make his time there a horror show. Casanova, real name Caswell Sr., is a Haitian-American rapper known for his energetic performances and raw storytelling abilities. His life took a dark turn when he was indicted on a RICO charge alongside 17 others due to his alleged involvement with the Bloods gang Untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation, where he was the leader. Prosecutors say the gang committed violence all across NYC. Not surprisingly, this wasn't his first run-in with the law. He was arrested at the age of 18 and was imprisoned at Rikers. During that time, he developed a strong connection with his cellmate, who would later be known as the rapper A$AP Rocky. In June
I don't know if he's still alive, though. I know he's doing it, but is he still alive, though? I don't know, bro, because I looked up 2 things, and they said this nigga got stabbed up, cuz. I don't know. I don't know. I hope he not, bro. Cass is that. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Yeah, he ain't never rapped about nothing positive. But that nigga kinda. I ain't gonna lie. I was a fan of this nigga. That's why I looked at people crazy when they talked about good old America, because we legit have the freedom to damn near whatever and say whatever, and we're prepared to face the consequences of any. Not no bullshit. Homelander punched through his face.
2023, Casanova sought leniency by the gang he was affiliated with. In a letter to the judge, he expressed his intention to publicly sever ties with the gang in the future. Now, his family and friends also contributed statements, hoping for a lighter sentence for the rapper. As a result, Casanova became a target for attacks from said gang. In that same month, Casanova got into a fight with another inmate, later identified as Ulysses Lugo, in the recreation area of the detention center. The authorities said it lasted for about a minute, and at that time, Lugo was seen lunging at Casanova and stabbing him repeatedly with this sharp object before other gang members joined in. He tried to fight back and managed to stab Lugo several times too, but in the end, Casanova was subdued. The attack was swift and brutal, with Casanova sustaining multiple stab wounds to his head and neck. Now, this guy was in and out of prison for a long time, so he was no stranger to violence, and he also spent 3.5 years in solitary confinement. Casanova once admitted that violence was in his blood, and that he would never shy away from a fight. According to him, whenever he was in jail, he always made sure he had a razor with him. He'd hide that weapon up his backside and refrain from using it unless it was absolutely necessary. And in most cases, when he was attacked, it would turn out that his cellmate was involved. Also, in this interview with DJ Vlad, Casanova admits that he injured about 12 people and got punished for slashing 3 inmates in one of his prison sentences.
Take pictures with him at the club.
That was my way of, you know, it was like tricking the crowd, I would say.
So to say Casanova was a menace would be an understatement.
No
As
bullshit.
for the attacker, Lugo, he was promptly restrained by officers and taken into custody. Lugo was a member of a rival gang, already serving 25 years to life for murder and weapons possession. All signs point to a potential gang-related motive. Now, an interesting theory is that just days before this incident, Casanova's legal team had some evidence they found. This motion could have potentially threatened the prosecution's case, and the stabbing may have been this attempt to intimidate or retaliate against Casanova for this legal maneuver.
It's to get back. It's
Additionally, gang-related tensions cannot be ruled out as a motive. Casanova's gang affiliation was public knowledge, and the presence of a rival gang member, Lugo, in that same place could have led to ongoing tensions or a desire to send a message between gangs. In 2010, hardcore rapper X-Rated would get involved with one of the most vicious gangs in Pleasant Valley Prison, California. His experience would be very unpleasant, that left many questions unanswered. In 1992, Anareva Sean Brown, aka X-Rated from Sacramento, was sentenced to 31 years for a murder of a woman that occurred when his gang invaded her home. Now, he would sing about this in a song titled Psychoactive, where he bragged about the horrible things he had done with his gang. This song was used as evidence in court, which was irrefutable proof that he was directly involved. While in prison, though, Brown continued to produce music under his record label, Blockstar Entertainment. He released several tracks for himself and other rappers, and that made him famous both in and out of the prison. Unfortunately for him, though, this game also attracted bad attention. There were gangs in here that took offense to what he said and others who wanted him to produce their gangster rap. Although Brown made it clear that he didn't want any business with these gangs, this was prison, and people in here don't like rejection. One such gang would be the Northern Riders, who really wanted him producing their music, but when he declined them, Brown immediately became a target. One afternoon, they saw an opportunity out in the yard to cover their tracks. The gang would start a prison riot, and that gave him time to attack Brown. Brown tried fighting but was overpowered. In the end, he was brutally stabbed 7 times in his body and head. When officials arrived at the scene, he was bleeding severely and looked really pale. They wasted no time and took him to the medical center, where his injuries were termed life-threatening. This guy spent several months in recovery and only survived the attack through sheer luck.
That's crazy, cuz. Damn. Did that nigga Dirt McGirt. Sheesh. Bro, I ain't gonna lie. Only thing I really took away from that shit is just like, bro, being in a third world country or another country where it's like you don't even have freedom of speech, and the fact that you go out of your way to still speak upon some shit that's against the majority, you definitely a real nigga. You definitely are putting your life on the line. But my whole thing is just like, shit, cuz. Is it worth it? Because nothing changes. Is it really worth it? I mean, maybe if you know, 30, 20, 40 years down the line, you might see a change. But like, I ain't gonna lie. Unpopular opinion, to me, I don't think it's worth it. I'm not doing that shit, bro. If I know me specifically right now, I cannot make a change. Nigga, shit. All I can do is make the best out of a shitty situation. I'm sorry. I'm not about to give my life to change some shit that ain't even gonna fucking change. You know? It is what it is. It's gotta be. It's not just one man, one woman, one entity. It's gotta be a collective for everything to change. That's just me. That's just how I think.